Alright, Rick Waller came back again, this time looking at Bandai's Thundercats Classics Tygra. This one's in the 8-inch scale. Let's have a look at the packaging first of all, fully showcasing the figure within. Nameplate at the bottom, claims to have 18 points of articulation, we'll be checking that out. Thundercats Classics logo at the top. Side showing some awesome artwork for the figure. Other side saying check us out online. Back of the figure, a couple of photos showing off figures within, including the accessories. Again, artwork of the figure. Different artwork to the one on the side as well, which is nice. Showing off other figures within. The two Classics figures released in the 8-inch scale. The 3 figures then released for the modern line. I've already opened this figure once, had a look around, play with it. Really nice figure again. Bandai have done well with some of these figures. And to point out, I'm only going to probably review this Thundercats Classics. I'm in no rush to get the others. Maybe the 8-inch line as well, but it's a shame the others weren't released in this same scale. Whereas when they moved to the 6-inch, less thrilled about that. Mumra in the 6-inch scale just didn't seem big enough, not enough going on with the figure for me to want to pick him up. Maybe if I find him cheap I will, but it'll have to be a proper bargain. And the Lino figure in that 6-inch Classics line, just hate that face sculpt. I detest it. If you're going to have him have one of these action face sculpts, do it as a spare head, not as the main one. Because really, there is no way I want that figure just because of him going. It just, no. Seriously, no. Missteps like that brought an end to this line before it even really had a chance to begin, which is a great shame. Right, pop the packaging aside for the moment. We will be keeping that to store him back in. Oh, one last thing. Awesome Thundercats logo within. Really love that logo. Right, don't have to worry about it being on all kinds of pegs or all kinds of ties because, as I said, already had him out. So let's pop him out once more. First thing you see, the first thing you get when you get this figure out is how massive it is. It's in the 8-inch scale, as I say, and that really seems massive. Towers over most of the figures. He's a whole more than an inch taller than the Masters of the Universe Classics, which gives them an epic feel. I love the fact that they're so much taller. The original line always was. So yeah, I loved the fact that it's this size. Right, having a look at the sculpt. Looks just like he did in the cartoon. Much more cartoon accurate than the original figure. All the detailing sculpted on. Slight paint bleed on the shoulder there, but not so bad that you'd notice too much. Other spots of paint bleed, I haven't noticed any thus far. If I notice any as I go, I will be shouting them out. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, no other paint bleeds. The one thing I do find, his body seems a bit chunky. Don't know if you can make that on camera, and if you don't agree with me, then yeah, please feel free to ignore this part, but I don't know, it seems barrel-chested. Might just be me, as I say. Right, on to the articulation. Head turns, looks slightly up and down. The neck moves. Arms can go outwards, forwards and backwards. Bicep cut. single jointed elbow, wrist swivel, and the wrist's actually on a articulation point as well. So it'll actually turn, giving some really nice posing. That's going to cause a problem later on, but for now, just talking about articulation, that to me is awesome and would allow for some really epic posing. So I'm certainly not complaining there. Same on the other arm. Awesome amount of articulation. Slightly hampered by the shoulder piece, but not so bad that it actually gets in the way. No waist turn, but it does pivot at the waist. Legs can go forwards, backwards, outwards. Really good waist. Really good range of motion with the legs there. Full splits on it. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Joint at the ankle. And a slight pivot at the ankle. So yeah, loads of articulation. Is it the full 18 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 I make it. So maybe I'm counting some things that shouldn't be counted, but I actually say 21. Rather than its claim of 18. So, even better than advertised. Accessories wise, comes with a slew of them. Comes with a second right hand with an open grip. I'm not going to pop it off to show you because there's the problem with that articulation. Because it can do that, it's a proper bugger to get the hand on. And as far as I'm concerned, a gripping hand more useful from the action figures. So I'm going to not show that getting put on because I don't want to embarrass myself when I can't do it. Because it is a proper pain. I think it's worth it. If you want to change it up and you can do that, love that idea. But I love that articulation as well, so I think it's worth the trouble. Which again is another problem I had with the 6-inch line, because they did away with that articulation. I think it's well worth it, but it is a pain. Other than that, we've got 3 whip pieces, which are all slightly different. We've got the handle with a piece of the whip on it. Clips in his hand really nicely. Good solid grip on it. Looks good. We've got the little one. We've got another extended one. The 3 balls on the small one actually come off the peg and can slot on here. So it looks like he's actually got his proper whip. Or he can hold it in its little form. Which again looks very cool and is a really nice display option. Then you've got the extension piece with the 3 balls separating on it into the 3 bolos. That clips on there nicely. Looks good. Looks like he's got a good action attack on it. Though some might say, oh, only a little one though. Look at the size of him compared to that whip. You want him having a bigger whip? You want it? You got it. Because it can actually attach to the other extended whip. And look at that, full extension. Looking really cool, Really nice amount of articulate, really nice amount of scope on that one. It'll wrap around him like that. Let it look like he's turning himself invisible, which is a really nice pose to be able to do. That is my preferred method of posing him, in fact, on my shelf when I'm doing that. So he's actually about to disappear. And as you can see by the way it actually flows right down him there, it ties around him really nicely and is a good length for something like that. If you want to actually make it even come closer, you can pop it behind his legs. Look at that. Plenty of ways to display it. Plenty of length on the whip. If you want him to be using it as if he's just whipping it at somebody, you can do it like that. If you want him to actually look like he's holding on to it as it's extended, it will do that as well. Because of course you can turn it at this joint. If you want him to be acting as if he's whipping somebody while he's still holding a smaller version of it, it won't clip into his hand because it's not based for gripping, but it'll rest in there nicely. So you can still show off all the accessories. I really like this figure. I can't go on enough about how much I like this figure. I wish all the others in the line were as good as this one. I would pick them up in a heartbeat. And I reckon the line would have continued if it had been. Not the way it is. Shame. But yeah. If you can get a Classics figure, if you're into Thundercats, if you grew up with the show, I can't recommend it highly enough. Slight problem, the balls that you can see, the ball joint on the wrist is the same colour as his suit rather than his arm, which is a slight problem. Same on the other arm. Same with the ankles. But yeah, they're minor gripes. They're a pain. But they are only minor gripes and nitpicks. Things that not as big an issue as they could be. And things that aren't as big an issue because the rest of the figure is so epic. The pins aren't obvious. So yeah, I've got no problem with this figure. I've got no problem saying pick this figure up. Got a problem with the others in the line. And as I say, he's not perfect, he's not faultless. But yeah, I love this figure. This is probably my favourite classic figure I've got. Whether that be Masters Classics or any of the others. Really like Tygra. Looks just like it did in the cartoon. Why did this line fail out? I'm sure I'll go into why this line failed by saying about the other figures that I didn't want to pick up. But it's such a shame this line failed, because that is such an epic figure. We could have had an epic Chitara, Panthro, Wily Cat, the Mutants. I mean, I still hold out hope we'll get some more classics at some point, because there are a lot of collectors out there that would want some classics. And I'm turning this into a rant, I know, but it boggles the mind that this line failed. Bandai, Warner Brothers, I don't know which one of you to blame, but this figure is awesome. The fact that the others weren't, let the line down, and left us collectors without the rest of the team. Left me only wanting to pick up the Tygra figure. I'm sorry, but I'm disappointed. Not in the figure. The figure's cool. In the companies. But then, I usually am. On that note, I will point out once more, if you can pick this figure up on eBay, or if it's still in one of your local stores, pick it up. Won't be sorry you did if you're a fan of the original Thundercats. or even the modern Thundercats, because this is still an awesome figure, and it's still proper Thundercats figure. If you can pick it up, do so. It's cool. It's well cool. It's awesome. So, until next time, see you.